What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And when you look at this show right here, Witcher Blood Origin, you really have to appreciate the type of show that this is for this particular year of 2022. It's almost like the perfect way to cap off 2022. It's just how bad this year's been, especially when it comes to streaming stuff on television, okay? Like, we had some winners, of course. We had Reacher, we had Peacemaker, we had Andor, we had House of Dragon, but we had a lot of duds, right? First, you had Boba Fett, right? Like, they completely dropped the ball on that. Remember when they announced that Book of Boba Fett was coming? Everybody, oh man, Book of Boba Fett? This dude's sitting on Jabba's throne? And you saw how that crap turned out, man. Absolutely laughing stock of a show, okay? And then you get to Moon Knight, right? Moon Knight to me was the biggest nothing burger. Like, they promised all kinds of violence and this thing is gonna be gritty, and this thing was terrible, man. Big nothing burger, biggest nothing burger of a show that we had all year, okay? Then you get to Obi-Wan. Now, that was the one that let everybody down because Obi-Wan should have been great, okay? Obi-Wan should have transported everybody back to the prequels and just got everybody hyped up. You had Hayden Christensen coming back to play Vader, all right? And then you have Ewan McGregor coming back to play Obi-Wan. That thing should have been just out of the park, easy, no problems, okay? And that was terrible. And then you get Miss Marvel. Again, just another like, why, what, nobody cared, okay? Show was just kind of like ho-hum. Nobody watched it, all right? And then you get the She-Hulk, who just insulted us. I mean, just insulted all the fans, all right? And anybody that ever loved the comic book property at all, just completely insulted them. And then you get to the Rings of Power. And, with Rings of Power, I thought like, all right, we've reached it. We've reached the pinnacle of nonsense. But then along came Willow, man. Like, Willow was 10 times worse. And you're sitting there like, man, can it possibly get worse? And yeah, it absolutely got worse. Witcher Blood Origin, man. And I finally got through the first episode, got into the second episode a little bit, and I mean, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I got better things to do with my time. I find myself start playing on my phone while I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, look, turn it off. You're not watching this, okay? You're not watching it. Like I said, it's like a coup de grace, like the finishing move on 2022. And what's really interesting is this show comes on the heels of the whole Henry Cavill problem, right? Like, it's not bad enough that, you have all of this Henry Cavill kerfuffle going on, but then you drop this show, okay? This show actually needed to be really, really good, honestly, if after that Henry Cavill situation. But you got that, and then, of course, you have this petition that is being drummed up, right? Yeah, you see, like, this thing is just moving. You can see, like, in real time, man. Like, people are just tacking on to this thing, adding more, It's absolutely crazy how much energy this thing is getting. It's getting close to that 300,000 mark that they're trying to hit. As you can see, again, this number just keeps growing. You're looking at it in real time. All right, so they have this petition going. They got all the Henry Cavill controversy going. And to add to all of that, they're talking about rebooting the entire series. That's it. That's it right there, man. That's it right there. They have absolutely dropped the ball. The failure of this entire escapade is now complete. The Witcher Blood Origin ending sparks theory Netflix will address Geralt's recasting by rebooting the entire series. So, of course, this is on Bounding in the comments. Let's go ahead and read through this. While Netflix has remained mum on just how exactly they plan to address Geralt of Rivia's upcoming recasting from Henry Cavill to Liam Hemsworth in The Witcher, the ending of the series' Blood Origin prequel has sparked a new theory which suggests they will do so by outright rebooting the entire franchise. This theory was first raised by YouTuber The Sporking Podcast during his December 28th appearance on the Bounding into Comics' own weekly live stream, The Black Pill Stream. Broaching the topic of The Witcher Blood Origin as a part of the Night's Plan's topics, the Sporking Podcast recalled that after viewing its finale, he was left with the impression that Netflix would be taking drastic measures to explain Henry Cavill's recasting. He says here they're either going to write Geralt out completely and have a different Witcher, or Hemsworth is going to take the role over, but they're going to start from season 1 again, and it's just going to be a different story. And to be honest, they really do have to explain it, Like, Cavill is so popular to the fans of The Witcher, to this entire franchise, really, just from being a fan of the games to being a fan of the lore and everything, that for a lot of people, they can't just swap him out, right? without having some sort of a in-universe explanation as to exactly why it's no longer Henry Cavill, but it's now Liam Hemsworth, okay? They can't just swap him out. Oh, yeah, it's just a different guy playing a role. They're not going to do that, okay? Even though everybody knows why he's not really there, they're going to have to put something into the story that kind of explains why this guy is no longer Geralt and now it's this new guy. They need a way to write Henry Cavill out of the show, all right, and introduce a new Geralt. In explanation of his theory, the Sporking Podcast pointed to the post-credit scene of Blood Origin's finale of Mages, Malice, and Monstrous Mayhem. By the way, this is all spoiler stuff, so if y'all care about it, you might want to tune away. But therein, having seemingly used the monoliths to travel between various worlds of the multiverse, and the mage Avalanche, Samuel Blinken, is transported to the city of Sintra some 1,500 years into the future, where he soon takes notice of a young Ciri playing dice on the streets with her friends. As noted by the Sporking Podcast, the same dice game was first depicted on screen in the first episode of the core The Witcher series. And that's the scene that they're talking about right there. Likewise, during the game, Ciri finds herself overwhelmed with the uneasy feeling that she's being watched. Rather than eventually discover that the pressuring gaze she felt was that of Geralt, as she did in the 7th episode of The Witcher's first season, Blood Origin instead retcons the story so that Ciri instead meets the gaze of Avalanche himself, who smirks in response to his being noticed. So yeah, they're changing up the story already, okay? That's almost proof positive that whatever they're going to do in season 4, okay, if they make it that far, and I'm not still sure that they're going to, they're going to use all of this as the groundwork to lay that out, okay? That makes absolute sense to me. That's what I would do. If I was writing this story, I would be like, hey, we got to write something in there so that we can kind of ease Cavill out and then ease Hemsworth in and make it all in universe so there's no mistaking what we're doing, okay? So they're retconning stuff already so that they're just kind of, again, laying the groundwork. They're probably going to have some stuff in season 3 that they're going to probably kind of lay the groundwork in there as well. As you heard, this was a post-credit scene, okay? So this was something that they put in after they finished Blood Origin. And that tells me right there that they're just, again, laying the groundwork. Expect more post-credit scenes in season 3. This small moment of non-verbal communication at such an early point in the core series timeline, believes the Sporking Podcast, is meant to serve as a divergent point from which Netflix can tell a new version of Geralt's tale with Hemsworth in the role and without any of Cavill's influence regarding source material accuracy. Yeah, they didn't care about Cavill and his source material accuracy in the first damn place. Otherwise, Cavill would still be there. They're letting us know without telling us they are rewriting season 1 of The Witcher. Bye-bye, Henry Cavill, asserted the YouTuber. Yeah, this is why they were running all of that damage control about Cavill, okay? Begging people to stay with us, come on, please, stay with us. You know, we'll go ahead, we're gonna do it right, we promise. You know, that's why they were doing all of this, okay? They already planned on going to what Henry Cavill said, but Henry Cavill was like, deuces, I'm out of here. I'm fed up. I'm over this. Interestingly, a recent interview given by series executive producer Lauren Hisrich seems to lend credence to the Sporking Podcast new Geralt theory. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly earlier this month about Witcher's post-Cavill future, Hisrich explained Geralt has a new mission in mind when we come back to him in season 4. He's a slightly different Geralt than we expected, she teased, before emphasizing, now, by the way, that's an understatement, emphasis ours, okay? So yeah, she's basically saying, yeah, he's going to be a slightly different Geralt than what we expected, okay, in season 4. And we obviously know that because Hemsworth is playing him. Honestly, at this point, I don't even think it matters, okay? You know, because the worst thing they could have had was this entire Blood Origins fiasco, all right? You know, again, going back to the, 12% audience score, nobody likes this, okay? I think it would have been better if the critics hated it and the audience loved it. It wouldn't have mattered. They would have been, hey, man, we made the fans happy, and that's what's going to keep this show moving, okay? Making the fans happy. I think that by, just putting all the woke nonsense in there, of course, and completely going away from the storyline, completely disregarding the source material, I think they've doomed the show, all right? Nobody's coming back to this. They needed this show to win with all of the negativity. Like, if this show was good and even though Cavill was leaving, people would have said, man, but, we love Blood Origin. Ah, man, I'll give season 3 a shot and then maybe we'll move on to season 4. These people know what they're doing. All right. But this show sucks and that's it. It's a wrap. And now the rumor is that the season 3 may be split into 2 parts, right? Okay, we asked Lauren Hisrich if Netflix had planned to release the season in 2 parts. We haven't discussed splitting the season yet, but at this point, I think what we see happening across all sorts of streamers, I wouldn't rule it out. I do think, obviously, we don't put anything out that we're not incredibly proud of, so that dictates our entire launch date. Again, we have still a very long time, 8-ish months or so, until Witcher Season 3 comes out. So God willing, we'll get it all out at the same time, but who knows? We'll see what happens. Yeah, I think there's a very good possibility that Netflix is going to use their little Netflix tricks, okay? They've been doing that lately. Part 1 of season, part 2 of season, okay? They split them up so that they can generate more viewers, okay? You know, Netflix is struggling, right? All of these trash shows are struggling, all right? As for me, you know, I got some Warhammer 40K to dive into. As you can see, one of the homies just picked this up, gave me this for Christmas, okay? Dan Abnett, The Victory, all right? Haven't really read too much of it, about 30 pages in, but I'm liking what I'm reading so far, so we're going to see how that goes. Anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation with The Witcher, okay? Like, falling on hard times, right? You know, the petition is almost at the 300K mark. Blood Origin has completely failed, and now they're probably going to end up rebooting the entire franchise, all right? Just to make up for the mistakes that they made at the very beginning. Maybe they've learned their lesson. Who knows? But anyway, folks, let me know what you think. Go ahead, get down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and your opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.